What's going on, everyone? Lorenzo here, aka the Zoe Deal. So I had a very eventful weekend, actually. I was able to test drive two vehicles, a 2025 Toyota 4Runner SR5, one of our demos at the dealership, and then my dad's Land Cruiser that he purchased from me. So I was able to have these two vehicles for a couple days, which I was able to kind of get a feel of the difference between both of them. So let's talk about it.
All right, everyone, let's jump right into this. But long story short, the reason why I was able to drive both of these vehicles is because my dad's Land Cruiser had to get some work done, and he lives 2 hours away in Erie, so I had to drive down a demo to him, one of our 4Runners. So in the beginning of the video, I'm actually test driving a 4Runner SR5, which is the base model Land Cruiser that I'm going to be driving back to Pittsburgh. That is also a 1958, and that's the base model in the Land Cruiser. So I want to talk about the differences between both of them. The 4Runner that I drove has a 2.4 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine delivering 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. This has an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, some of the higher trim levels do have the hybrid, but the SR5 does not come with it. Cargo space in the 4Runner is 48.4 cubic feet behind the seats and up to 90.2 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. One of the things I noticed with the 4Runner is that how light it felt driving it. It was a great experience. I felt like I was gliding on the road. There you go, you see me drinking my coffee. I was having a good time listening to some music on the way down to Erie. .22 miles per gallon on average, and the difference between that and the Land Cruiser is 1 mile per gallon difference. You get 23 miles per gallon estimated on a Land Cruiser. Average price point on a 4Runner SR5 with some equipment from the dealership anywhere from $42,000 to $45,000. Now let's talk about the 1958 Land Cruiser. This one is powered by a 2.4 liter turbocharged inline 4 paired with an electric motor, because this is the iForce Max. This delivers a whopping 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque, and it has an 8-speed electronically controlled automatic transmission and full-time 4-wheel drive. You get a little bit less cargo space in the Land Cruiser at 46.2 cubic feet behind the rear seats and 82.2 cubic feet with the seats folded. And you only can get it in a 5-passenger. You can't get the third row in the Land Cruiser. Now with the Land Cruiser, you do get a little bit more features in it, and like I said, you also get a little bit better fuel economy with the 22 in the city, 25 on the highway, 23 miles per gallon combined. You also get the off-road tech like the full-time 4-wheel drive. You also get the multi-terrain select with the monitor system and some more adaptive off-road features. In the 1958 Land Cruiser, your starting price is around $58,000, $59,000. So, you're looking at about a $10,000 to $15,000 difference between the two vehicles. And personally, I thought the Land Cruiser was a little bit of a heavier drive, especially with the hybrid system.
All right, everyone, so a brief rundown of the differences between both vehicles. If you want more horsepower and gas mileage, you go with a Land Cruiser. If you're okay with going with the gas 4Runner and the horsepower that gets, then that vehicle is going to be better for you. If you want the third row as an option, you can only get that in the 4Runner, so don't go for the Land Cruiser. If you want some of the extra luxuries, obviously the Land Cruiser is going to have those things and some of the off-road capabilities. Price point's a pretty big hike. You're getting, it's $10,000 to $15,000 more for the Land Cruiser. So if it's a little bit out of your price point and you'd rather go with a 4Runner SR5, you'll get a lot of the same capabilities, close to the same capabilities as the Land Cruiser with a little bit of a lower price point. So that's the conclusion to the 4Runner and Land Cruiser review. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about either of these vehicles, just reach out to me, or you can visit my website at thezodeals.com. Make sure to like, share, and follow, and hit the subscribe button.